The Supreme Court is allowing Donald Trump to revoke the legal status of over 500,000 migrants here in the United States under humanitarian parole.
Where are the people that said that there weren't going to be mass deportations? Where are the people that said he's not going to do that? Where are the people that said he's not going to take away legal status from immigrants? Where are these f***ing people? I expect a certain demographic to not want to have any immigrants in this country, to want to get rid of the ones that are already here and close the doors and not allow any more in. But the thing that pisses me the most is that a great deal of Latinos help push this shit, help make this happen. A bunch of other Latinos that came here illegally at some point, for the most part, or their parents or grandparents migrated to the United States as a necessity, seeking refuge, liberty, freedom, and all that bullshit. You know, the same thing that these people from Nicaragua, Venezuela, Cuba, Haiti are looking for. Where are the people that kept saying, we don't mind immigrants, we just want you to come here legally, the right way? Where the are you now?
I did it. I sure did. I voted for Trump. And I'm Latina, half Mexican, half Guatemalan. And no, that does not mean that I hate Mexicans, Guatemalans, Latinos, Hispanics. That does not mean I hate immigrants, illegal immigrants. What that means is that I'm for a president that is pro-America, that is for making this place better, because it's a shit that obviously was not working for us. Letting people come in and having taxpayers support them obviously did not make America better.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I really do appreciate your love and support on this channel. So President Donald Trump administration is revoking the humanitarian parole status that had granted temporarily legal protection to over 530,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. This action follows a recent US Supreme Court decision on May 30th, 2025, which allowed the administration to terminate the Biden-era CHNV. So people are actually reacting on this, and mostly they're telling people, you know what, you are after around, and now you're actually finding out after you made this mess, you voted for this, because a big number of the Hispanic community have actually voted for the Republican Party in the previous election of 2024 and managed to put President Donald Trump in office, and now he's doing as he promised, that there's gonna be a mass deportation. And not only is he deporting illegal immigrants, but people who are actually having temporary illegal status to be in the United States of America. You know, there are people that have actually reacted on this, and I've stitched a couple of videos that I want us to watch together, guys. Every clip and every stitch that you'll be seeing on our today's episode, credits belongs to the original creators of these videos that you're seeing on your screens. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my good name is Kristi. Kindly consider subscribing to this channel, give this video a like, and let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. So let's just dive right ahead, and we'll come back with more commentary.
I keep getting nasty comments from Latinos for Trump. So let me reply to you. The first thing is, I feel sorry for Latinos for Trump, because what they are is that they're trying to fit in a community that they consider to be superior to themselves. They try to appear to be part of this culture. So what they're trying to do is trying to overcome their own self-hate, because they see themselves as less. And when they see themselves as less, they have to pretend to be like the group that, according to them, is above them and better than them. So when they see an immigrant, the immigrant reminds them who they are and where they come. And that causes hate, because they hate to be part of that coming, and they take it out on other people. So what they are is a bunch of people with a lot of self-hate that pretend to be part of a superior group, what they see as a superior group. And because they are not accepted, and they will never fucking be, when they see a person like them, it creates hate in their heart, because they hate themselves in the situation that they're in, that they're trying to be part of a group that they will never be part of. And that immigrant reminds them who the fuck they are, so that hurts them. That's what a Latino for Trump is. It's a person who wants a seat at a fucking table, but they won't fucking let him. And because they don't let him, he kicks everybody else out that looks like him to try to be the one to sit on the table. But at the end of the day, he's also going to get kicked out. I'm Alex. This is my rant, and I'm out.
So my husband's family is from Georgia, and they have a particular phrase when somebody screws themselves over. They said, well, you screwed the pooch on that one. And I think that phrase right there is very fitting for what the Venezuelans and Cubans are going through at this moment. Yeah, they definitely screwed the pooch by voting for Donald Trump. Eso pendejo nunca aprende. And I think the funniest videos that I've always made has been on those Miami Cubans that are always crying, getting upset because we put billboards talking about Donald Trump. And they're like, oh my God, this is going against America. And we have told them time and time again that Donald Trump does not like you. You are still an other. But they thought that white proximity was just going to buy them a little bit of freedom, I guess. But what makes matters worse, guys, you guys are not understanding how entrenched in the cult they are. They have their own Cubans that are not citizens, basically funding Trump's campaign, grassroots campaigning, praising Donald Trump. And the same goes for Venezolanos. Their TPS status because Biden allowed them. Biden is the chance that they were over here. And same thing, they were giving money to his campaign. They were pushing Trump, all in a fucking cult. And now your asses are on the list in which he wants to implement a travel ban. What's on there? Cuba and Venezuela. That to me is outstanding, that you are not even a citizen and you are pushing Donald Trump's rhetoric. Why did you even think you were special? Well, you screwed the pooch on that one. It's funny, but not funny. And P.S., this is not meant for those Venezuelans that absolutely voted blue. You guys have a great day. Mi gente. I haven't done one of these in a while. Between the Cuban Adjustment Act and then when they started, when they took away their refugee status, I came on here and I talked about it again and I kind of make fun of them. But anyway, here's another one for the record. Cuban Americans take front and center. Cubans for Trump. Front and center. Let's talk about it because I know you don't want to talk about it now, right? Now you're avoiding me at all fucking costs, right? And I think it's funny, but in the last fucking week, this administration has gone after you super hard. Super hard. Even those that have been in the country for a while are getting detained and being threatened to be deported. And he is coming after you. There goes the articles that this, because I know you're going to say I'm lying, but I'm not lying. And if it hasn't happened to you yet, it's just a matter of fucking time. Once he revoked your refugee status for you, Haitians and Venezuelans, right? Now you don't have the protections and that your asses voted for, right? Do you remember all the videos? Your votes, voy a votar por Donald Trump. Right? Remember that? Remember how many of you came to my page to talk shit? Who's fucking laughing now? Do you think this would have taught you a lesson for midterms? Do you think it's going to teach you a lesson for 2028? I fucking doubt it. I doubt it. But I hope it does. I told you so. Again, I warned you. Now, here's the funniest thing about this video. This is the guy they call El Funky, and I don't even know who the fuck he is. But as of a few days ago, he was being threatened to be deported. And now, I'm not sure how he got out of it. But look at him. Does he fucking even look like he would qualify to be in the United States under this fucking administration? I think not. He should have known better. But sure enough, I think because he thought he was famous, Trump was going to accept him. And what did he say at your own town hall meeting? I only want you for your vote. Now you see how that works, right? But if somebody knows El Funky, send it to him, right? Because I don't even know who the fuck he is. But good for your ass. Good for your ass. Maybe you'll wake up now. Maybe all of you will wake up now and stop being a part of that colorism that makes you think the color of your skin makes you better than the rest of us fucking Latinos. Who's laughing now? Cubans for Trump.
Bro, if you're on a humanitarian status, Supreme Court just said, Donald Trump, you could kick those people out. I grew up in Miami. So during the election, I was talking to all my friends back in Miami. I'm like, hey, talk to the people that's thinking about voting for Trump, because if you have family members that are on protective status or temporary status, they will fucking end up disappearing. I personally didn't know what Trump was going to do. I just thought he was going to be like, like that type of guy and just, put people in jail, And, well, it kind of turned out to be much worse. And now, you know what the funniest thing is that the Venezuelans, was going so hard for Trump, and then they got instant regret right after election. And now they're like, oh no. And the Cubans in Miami, they were waving around with the American flag, and then they were just like, oh, we'll go for Trump. We don't like communism. I said, bro, you guys are so dumb. You don't even know what you're talking about. And now all those people are going to go bye-bye.
You want to know how screwed up things are getting? The Supreme Court just gave Donald Trump the green light to start deporting 500,000 people who came here legally under a humanitarian parole program. These are folks from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Places facing real crisis, guys. They applied, they were vetted, they were approved, they did everything right. And now they're getting kicked out. Why? Because Donald Trump wants to undo anything connected to Biden, even if it means upending lives, ripping families apart, and sending people back to dangerous conditions. It's disgusting. This program let people live here and work for 2 years legally. They have jobs, they got kids in school, they're paying taxes, but now the message is, doesn't matter. New administration, new rules. Out you go. And what really gets me is the cruelty of it all. This isn't about safety or security. This is about political points. This is about showing off to the base, look what we can do with immigrants when we're in charge. And let's not forget, Donald Trump's Homeland Security Secretary is Kristi Noem. The same woman who bragged about killing a puppy. So, yeah, compassion necessarily isn't the vibe that they're going for here. And at some point, we have to ask, how much is too much cruelty? I mean, Jesus Christ. How many families do we have to tear apart before people say this is enough? So if this pisses you off like it should, don't scroll past. Speak up. Share this. Call it what it is. Cruelty for political gain. And if you live in a swing state, vote like people's lives depend on it, because they literally do.
Stand up, Miami Cubans. Stand up and take a round of applause for playing yourself. Oh, you think this is going to only affect those without documents, right? How are they going to know? How are they going to know who is here legally and who is not? Oh, you're going to let them violate your constitutional rights and ask you for your ID? Oh, you think, oh, I'll just show them my ID and they won't bother me, without realizing that is a violation of your constitutional rights. Do you even know your constitutional rights? Do you even know? Or do they just keep you down there in Miami in some of the worst schooling in the nation, and they don't tell you your constitutional rights as they stomp on them? Oh, you think it's going to affect others and not you. It's the selfishness that really gets to me. The selfishness that they voted for this. And I'm not saying that Haitians, Venezuelans, and Nicaraguans, whether they were here legally, voted for this. No. Specifically, Miami Cubans, who were so blatant on the timeline leading up to the election that they wanted this, but you didn't realize how it's going to affect your life, because how do they know who is documented and who is not? You're about to FAFO.
All right, let me see if I got this correct. So first, they set a goal of 3,000 arrests a day. Then the Supreme Court helped make it happen. Y'all, what are we even doing right now? So just one day after Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem announced to ICE this new daily deportation quota, the Supreme Court cleared the way for the largest mass illegalization in modern U.S. history. We're talking about over 500,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela gone. Their protections lifted, their legal status stripped. And this comes after another 350,000 Venezuelans lost theirs too. That's nearly 1 million people who were living here legally under humanitarian parole. They had to fly here on their own dime, get sponsors, and meet strict requirements. Now they're being told to leave or lose everything. Now, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson said it best. This decision will unravel lives before courts even decide their legal claims. And let's not ignore how Trump built public support for this with straight up lies, like saying Haitian immigrants were abducting pets in Ohio. Seriously? Now that's literally cited in court filings. Look, let's be real. This isn't about national security. It's about using fear to push policy. It's about reshaping who gets to belong in America. And right now, we're watching the biggest mass revocation of legal status in U.S. history. And are we seriously okay with that?
Breaking news, over 500,000 immigrants are losing their status today. The Supreme Court just made a huge decision to allow the Trump administration to revoke humanitarian parole for over 500,000 immigrants. Immigrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Today's decision will essentially cancel their work permit and their ability to live legally in the United States, making them undocumented essentially from today, susceptible for deportation. Many of these people were legally working in the United States, supporting small businesses. This is going to hurt our economy a lot. So what's going to happen next? Many of these people are going to start looking for alternative ways to stay in the country, like asylum, Cubans Adjustment of Status Act, or changing status using their employers to sponsor them. The decision is essentially lifting the stay of the lower court. For now, it's causing increased anxiety. The best thing these immigrants can do is try to find alternative ways to stay.
I remember during the last election, the Cubans were lined up for the President Trump, the current administration. They were angry, waving flags in the streets, Cubans for Trump. Interesting. Very interesting.
I think this is my last time doing this video because right now I'm just beating a dead horse. You see the headline, Trump voter feels betrayed after husband is deported to Cuba. Now I did have a video, but I don't want to show it. I want to go straight to the comment section, which is what took me out. The first comment absolutely cooked. You voted for this. But the second comment was a three-pointer at the buzzer. She did not. She voted to deport everyone else's husband. God damn. And it's the truth. Certain MAGA voters really voted knowing that bad things would happen to certain people. They just didn't think that bad things would happen to them. So for the final time, I will say, cue the music.
The Supreme Court has now allowed the Department of Homeland Security to continue with the expedited removals and deportations of about 500,000 Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, and Venezuelans that entered the United States between 2021 and 2023 through the Humanitarian Parole Program.
Yeah, so guys, that's what's up, because Cubans have been feeling kind of way special than other immigrants in the United States of America. And these people that had temporary legal status, they had the right to work legally, live legally in the United States of America, and it kind of made them feel some type of a way special than all those immigrants that had to suffer. They cannot get better employment, they cannot work in offices, there are benefits that they could not get because they were there illegally. And most people that actually voted are not these illegal immigrants, are these people that, are citizens. I don't know if these people that had temporary status had the right to vote. I don't know how that worked. You can tell us on the comment section. But there is a good number of Hispanic community that actually voted for this administration. And the reason is because they wanted a better country. They wanted a better America. They didn't want these illegal immigrants coming to the country and benefiting from their own taxes. They didn't even know that these illegal immigrants that they all wanted deported were actually paying for taxes. because I mean, they were paying for the house, they were buying foodstuffs. There is a lot that they were doing, and there is a lot of taxes that they were actually paying these same people that most people wanted to get deported. And we all know, like in the 2024 election, 68% of likely Cuban American voters in Miami-Dade County planned to vote for Trump, and most of them actually did that, marking the highest level of support recorded for him among this demographic. Post-election analysis suggests that nationwide approximately 58% of Cuban Americans voted for Trump, while 40% supported Kamala Harris. This trend underscores a continued and growing alignment between Cuban American voters and the Republican Party, particularly in Florida, where Cuban Americans represent a significant portion of the Hispanic electorate. Factors contributed to this support include concerns of socialism, economic policies, and immigration stances. And it's crazy because these people, like, the same thing or the same way that they used for them to get in the United States of America is the same way that some of these illegal immigrants that actually, while they were trying, you know, they're just trying to get a better life. Some of them are running away from poverty. Some of them are just trying to come to the US to find employment and make a living for themselves and their family. But the saddest part about this is that these immigrants that are now having legal status, some of them that are actually citizens, some of them that are actually holding green cards, they didn't want these people in the US. They wanted them to come, they wanted them to go back to their countries and come in the United States of America legally. Even some of these that were actually holding temporary legal status to be there, they wanted them to, you know, they wanted some of illegal immigrants just because they came on the plane, they passed through the airport and through the immigration process and all that. They wanted other people to go back and come there legally, and they felt like they were some kind of a, you know, special or something of the sort. Now, over 500,000 of them are on the process of being deported back to their countries. And this guy was not joking when he said that the first day that he's gonna get in office, there's gonna be a mass deportation, and he's done exactly that. The only promise that he's not yet delivered is that he promised that he's gonna, you know, lower the price of groceries, eggs, and these are the things that we're seeing people complaining that this guy is not doing as he promised us that he's gonna do. But when it comes to mass deportation, people are being held at ICE agent centers. Some people are even being deported, like legal citizens are being deported. Some are being held in these places illegally. And it's kind of, this guy is not even listening to what you know, the court has to say. He's not listening to the judges. He's not even following the constitution. He just wants you out of the country. It does not matter if you're like now these people that are actually having temporary legal status. He don't care about you. And the reason as to why you have to know that he doesn't care is that he's even deporting kids that are actually going or in the United States of America undergoing treatment. And some of them are being deported back to their countries. He does not care. You see, people who are telling you, Black Americans who are telling you, and some of people from your community were actually even warning you, but some of you all could not listen because why? You wanted to have a better country, because you were promised that he was gonna make America great again. Now look at the number of families that have been actually being separated just because of your vote, because you voted for this, because there is a huge number of the Hispanic community that actually voted for this. And now when you come online, some of you crying and saying, I didn't know this is how things were gonna turn out. Like, what did you expect after voting against your own self-best interest, after voting against your own community's self-best interest, after voting for kids that are actually undergoing treatment to be deported back in a country that you know that this same treatment that they are getting here will not be easy for them to get it in your country, or maybe does not even exist in your countries. It's quite sad and hurting to see kids being deported that are actually suffering from diseases that they cannot get treatment in their countries. And I saw people like asking, like, there was this girl from Mexico, and people on the comment section were like very ignorant, like, why can she not be treated in Mexico? Like, it's just the same way how people travel to India. It's the same way how people actually travel outside America to go and get some treatments. Like, there are reasons as to why people travel to different countries for treatment. So this is what has been happening, guys, and it's not yet even a year. Can you imagine this guy's gonna be in the office for the next 4 years now? Because it's only been a few months, it's not even half a year since he got into office, and there is a lot that is happening that people don't even have time to digest of what's going on, guys. I'd love you to tell me what your thoughts are on the comments section. I feel so sorry for people that will have to face deportation, or people that are actually facing deportations that didn't actually vote for these. Kids that are actually in need of a good medical treatment that will have to be sent back in their countries, where they might, at the end of it, after all the efforts the parents put to find the funds for them to be able to come to the States to get that treatment and all that, and it might all end in vain when they might lose their life. And it's quite sad, guys. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching up to this part, and until the next episode, bye.